exploration and magnets for fake news. August 2022. A prominent French physicist discovers a star, later admits it was a piece of chorizo. July 1969. Man lands on the moon. Or didn't, according to conspiracy theorists. But before any of this, it was August 1835 that launched the most imaginative moon hoax of them all, and it was this time, when the world looked up at the moon, they saw an entirely new lunar landscape that would change humanity as we know it.
Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Theirs was a journey like no other, for they were the first to set foot on the lunar surface.
The Eagle has landed.
It all began in Scotland, where the story cited its source from the Edinburgh Journal of Science. The headline read, "Great Astronomical Discoveries," made by prominent astronomer Sir John Herschel, who at the time was at a remote field trip in South Africa. And for the first time in history, by means of a remarkable new telescope, he was able to glimpse life phantom.
New York Sun published a series of 6 articles claiming that life had been discovered on the moon. Life including unicorns and beavers that walked on their hind legs. The crowning touch of it was the discovery of the so-called man bat. The Vespertilio homo was supposedly the Latin name. These remarkable 4-foot-tall creatures who flew and talked and built temples and did art and apparently fornicated in public.
Let's stop here. In case you missed that, he did say man bats on the moon fornicating in public, and people actually believed it.
The series caused a tremendous sensation. It was reprinted in rival newspapers. By some estimates, %90 of the people in New York City believed it. And by the time that the hoax was over, the New York Sun was the most widely read newspaper in the world.
But it turns out Sir John Herschel did not make these astronomical discoveries, nor were they reprinted from the Edinburgh Journal of Science. The two key players behind these fabricated lunar discoveries were New York Sun's publisher Benjamin Day and New York Sun's editor Richard Adams Locke.
The two men tested their moon legs and began setting their scientific experiments.
The New York Sun was one of the first penny papers. Its publisher, Benjamin Day, set out to create a tabloid paper affordable for everyone. With means of advertising, cheaper and faster steam-powered printing methods, papers plummeted from 6 cents to 1 cent. Before the penny press, papers were subscription-based and marketed to the elite. The penny papers were hawked on the street by paperboys and available to everyone.
Richard Adams Locke had created the most successful newspaper hoax of all time, but he had had not intended it as a hoax.
And while this was a successful fake news story for Day, it was a satire gone wrong for Locke.
But to understand why people believe this fantastical story meant as a satire, we need to see what was happening back down on Earth.
New York, 1830s. New York was divided between pro-slavery and anti-slavery. Violent anti-slavery riots had hit the streets. People were hungry to escape the civil unrest. The remedy? To the moon! And while people looked to the skies, religion was also having a second awakening.
The astronomers of the time were religious astronomers, and the general belief among the astronomers was that all of the heavenly bodies were populated because God would not have created these worlds without also creating intelligent beings there to appreciate them.
And one of the popular astronomers was Thomas Dick. He was the Carl Sagan, Neil deGrasse Tyson of the day, and he believed there was a population on the moon of over 4 billion creatures.
Now, Richard Adams Locke found this all preposterous. He felt that this was religion, the free play of science. And so what he decided he was going to do was to write a series of articles that lampooned the beliefs of these religious astronomers. And he said, if you believe that there are lunarians, creatures on the moon, I will give you lunar man bats. And if you believe that there are seas full of water on the moon, I will give you seas full of water on the moon. And meanwhile, I will dress it all up in the kind of high-flown scientific rhetoric that you use just to expose your ideas.
And while scientific Locke played devil's advocate, little did he know God's work was already done.
What he had not anticipated, and this is the great irony of the moon hoax, was that the people of New York, and subsequently of America generally, had been so schooled in the ideas of these religious astronomers that when these articles came out, they simply believed them. They simply believed that they were true because it was so much like what they had already been reading.
And to add to the irony, religious groups started raising money to get Bibles up to the moon.
This was not something that he had anticipated at all. He was in a great deal of distress because he knew that it wasn't true, and yet he did not feel that he had the right to reveal this because the series belonged to his publisher. The New York Sun wanted to profit as much as they possibly could, and so they put out a lithograph. They hired a local artist to create a drawing of the lunar landscape based on the remarkably detailed descriptions that Locke had given. But then what happened was that the series became republished, not just in America, but all over the world. And so if you go back and look at these 19th century editions, you see lunar mad bats in all kinds of artistic styles.
Today, it's impossible to escape fake news. In 2017, fake news was even named Word of the Year. But fake news is not a new phenomena. This story went viral before social media, internet, TV, radio, and whether you believe in science or religion, we all want a ticket to the moon. And when we get there, we want to see two-legged beavers and unicorns. And man-bats, because after all,
the moon is a strange place for men to be flying to.
Pure Encapsulations.
Fast so schnell erfährst du mit Wir kaufen ein Auto.at den Preis für dein Auto. Ich zeig's dir.
Ralf Schumacher?
Du willst wissen, wie viel dein Auto wert ist?
Ja klar!
Auf Wir kaufen ein Auto.at erhältst du den besten Verkaufspreis. Schnell und einfach online. Meine Empfehlung, hol dir jetzt deinen Preis auf wirkaufeneinauto.at.
How will you be able to follow the activities during EVA? Will you have a visual monitor? And secondly, another question, could the EVA period be extended if everything goes real well?
Well, I have two different ways of listening to Neil and Buzz while they're in the LEM and also while they're out on the lunar surface. First, I have direct radio contact with them on very high frequency radio during a 13-minute period that I'm in view of them. I can talk to them when I can see them during this 13-minute period that the command module goes overhead. In addition to that, the ground relays on the S-band, our normal air-to-ground frequency, they relay to the LEM everything which I say to the ground and vice versa. All LEM communications go to Houston where they're turned around immediately and sent back up to me so that they hear everything I say within 5 seconds of the time I say it, and the reverse is also true. Now the S-band is operable anytime I am within line of sight of the Earth, not necessarily the LEM, you see, so that out of each 2-hour revolution, roughly 60% of the time I am in contact with the ground, and therefore I am in contact with the LEM. In regard to seeing them, I'm afraid my eyesight's not quite that good. They're too small to be seen from an altitude of 60 miles. There is a possibility, and we intend to explore it further, that the LEM itself will be visible from the command module. The flat size of the LEM being made of a mylar substance which reflects sunlight gives us hope that that I'll be able to see a flash of light at precisely the proper sun angles when I am nearly overhead, and this, of course, remains to be seen.
I have a question for Mike Collins. What will the command module pilot be doing while the commander and the LEM pilot are on the lunar surface? Will you be doing any special experiments of any type or not while you're up there by yourself? This is while they're on the lunar surface.
I heard the first part. What will I be doing? And specifically the second part?
Are there any specific type of planned experiments that are new that you'll be performing while Neil and Buzz are on the lunar surface?
No, there are no there are no experiments as such. As I said earlier, I hope to determine whether I can see the limb from 60 miles up. And in addition, I hope to get some detailed navigational sightings on the location of the landed limb. I will take some optical marks on the limb. If I can see it, and then these marks will be fed into the arithmetic of the computer, which will then be able to determine more precisely the exact latitude, longitude, and altitude of the limb on the surface. But these really are not experiments as such. They're just part of the overall framework of trying to piece together exactly where the limb is relative to the command module for the ensuing rendezvous. Other than that, I'll be doing housekeeping, sure, of which there are many.
Schiemann, West German TV Channel 2. Could Mr. Armstrong perhaps tell us, is there any legal importance in getting down on the moon? I mean, if you are settled down there, would any area there be the property of the United States or a wider area, or is there absolutely no legal implication?
Well, I think we might refer to this plaque again in the last line. Says, "We came in peace for all mankind." I think that's precisely what we mean.
4am Swedish television. Neil Armstrong said before that it was rather unpleasant to think of the fact that, or the possibility that you would get stuck on the moon. What is the longest time if the ascent stage doesn't fire? And I think Mike Collins said in an earlier interview that he would then have to just leave and go back to the Earth. What is the longest time you can wait between the not firing and the time when Mike Collins would have to go back, the time you would have to work on the moon and to fix whatever was wrong, or try to fix it?
You have those numbers immediately at hand? I don't have the numbers. Probably would be a matter of a couple days.
At what point in the timeline will the American flag be erected on the moon's surface?
But it's going to take place when we are both early in the time period when we're both on the surface in order to aid each other with the unstowing and in operation, and it also should be at the time period when we have the TV camera placed in such a position that it would be able to see that. I don't mean to sound discouraging, but I don't have high hopes that the picture that we'll be able to send you back from the surface will be nearly so good as those you've been looking at in recent flights from the command module. The camera is somewhat different, and we're somewhat more restricted in the kinds of lenses and the kinds of that we can use and the kinds of lighting we have available to us, and the resolution. Of the camera, and I suspect that you'll be somewhat disappointed with those pictures. I hope that you'll recognize that That is just one of the problems that you face in an environment like the lunar surface, and it'll be some time before you really get high-quality lunar surface pictures back on TV length.
James Brown, the BBC. Colonel Collins, to people who are not astronauts, you would appear to have the most frustrating job on the mission, not going all the way. How do you feel about that?
Well, I don't feel the slightest bit frustrated. I'm going 99.9% of the way there, and that suits me just fine. I couldn't be happier to be right where I am.
I'd like to say in that regard that the man in the command module, of course, by himself, has a giant-sized job to do. He has to run Buzz's job and my job, along with his own job, simultaneously, and in addition, act as a relay to the ground and be available for any kind of questions that we have to ask him and any at the ground. And it's really about at least a three-man job, and the utmost confidence that Michael's certainly not lack for something to do while he's circling around. And if he can't think of anything else, he can always look out the window and admire the view.
We're coming up on the hour. We've got time. For one more question. Over there on the far side.
Yeah.
From your previous experience, in the 2.5 hours or so that you're atop the rocket before actual blast off, is this a period of maximum tension, rather like being in the dentist's waiting room?
If I don't mean to get morbid on you, but if you had died on the moon,
Yeah.
were we ready for that? Here in America? Here on Earth?
Every president, they have a speechwriter, a staff, and the staff writer to the president would, of course, prepare in the event some disaster unfolded, like Challenger accident. And it's not surprising me at all, but one would do that. But it kind of, it not shocks, but it brings people into the reality.
So I have some of those words that were in case Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong would be stranded on the moon, still alive, but we would know they would ultimately die. These words were written for President Nixon, and he never had to read them, but they exist and they are in his presidential archives. Fate has ordained that the men who went to the moon to explore in peace will stay on the moon to rest in peace.
Oh my God.
These brave men, Neil Armstrong and Edwin Aldrin, know that there is no hope for their recovery, but they also know that there is hope for mankind in their sacrifice. These two men are laying down their lives in mankind's most noble goal, the search for truth and understanding. That's creepy, but beautiful.
When those guys were coming back, they had another launch to go through to get off the moon. That's why they were talking about them staying on the moon. That rocket did not work on the moon. They were stuck.
Yeah.
And I think if they were not successful, I think we would have continued. And we talk about that even with the with the shuttle accidents. I remember after we had Challenger, I became an astronaut after that, and before the second mission, we said, "Oh, if you have an accident, it's going to end the program," and it didn't. We had another accident, and we kept going. And
Wir bei Braun haben den Anspruch, die besten Rasierer zu entwickeln, die mühelos jede Bartlinge mit Präzision meistern. Egal ob 1, 3 oder 7 Tage Bart. So wie der Braun Series 9 Pro, Testsieger bei Stiftung Warentest. Und der neue Braun Series 9 Pro Plus mit verbesserten Precision Pro Trimmer. Langlebige Qualität, jetzt mit 5 Jahren Garantie.
Why has nobody been to the moon in such a long time?
That's not an 8-year-old's question. That's my question. I want to know, but I think I know. Because we didn't go there, and that's the way it happened. And if it didn't happen, it's nice to know why it didn't happen. So in the future, if we want to keep doing something, we need to know why something stopped in the past that we wanted to keep it going. But I think I know. Because we didn't. Because we didn't. Because we did.
Hallo! Ich bin schon da. Verpasse nicht die Mega-Rabatte auf Alza.at. Kauf dir zum Beispiel die Gaming-Maus Razer Naga Pro mit 20 programmierbaren Tasten und einer Auflösung von 20.000 dpi auf Alza.at.
And we renting on the south. Boom. Gather round. We're going to laugh. Terror. We waiting for terror. Come on, man. Terror. We waiting for terror. Wanna be a fool. Terror. We're waiting for terror. We probably smoking a spliff. Terror. We're waiting for terror.
Starring your hosts. I'm Jaron from Jaronism. With me, we've got Mike from THC and Sov. We are all here. We're ready to go, and it should be a fun one. This is the greatest show on YouTube, except for last week. Last week it faltered due to a bad documentary we were forced to watch. But that's part of the show, is we must watch it to the end, and we proved that. Let's meet the guys. And Kairos,
we could do a doodle again.
You might have to do it again if this is the one I think it is.
Tyro's weather satellite program
No.
1960s
No, I don't think we saw that
RCA
one.
film for
No,
NASA
no.
14.
The weird word, Tyros.
All right, that's 14 minutes. It takes us over the hour. Excellent. Excellent. All right, you can send in. We'll read any super chats at the end. You can do it there. You can do it at Ko-fi, ko-fi.com/journalism, or you can do it at yes. And I believe that is it. Trying to think. Oh yeah, by the way, we have a contest that we do. Every episode we give away something. Do we know what we're giving away this time? Because I'm out of CDs.
Wear my pants up around my nipples.
In case the flood comes. Please warn us about.
This is what I have to do.
This is a Freemason phallic symbol behind
Hey, I've
me.
been there.
On a
That's Kitty
windswept
Hawk,
hill
man.
at Kitty
I've been
Hawk,
there.
man sprouted wings.
Oh, did they?
And if a soaring granite spire at Kitty Hawk is a memorial to the birth
A
of the
monolith
air age,
of sorts.
It is.
so too is the soaring steel gantry around the spacecraft.
They didn't launch a
Mounted on
rocket
an Atlas
from that.
rocket at Cape
Looks like,
Canaveral,
I think they're
the
just pumping
symbol of
oil.
the
That's
dawn
just a
of the
makeshift
age
oil
of
tower.
Man's flight in space.
They've got a big pool of dinosaurs down below Kennedy Space Center.
Thank you guys. Oh, proof of the globe.
There it is right there. It's a godlike. It's a god.
That is proof of the globe. You can see how the horizon's all straight and shit. Pretty much
Straight means curved. Straight means curved.
On a globe, it does. Which is where we are.
December 17, 1903. On that eventful morning, who could have foretold what the conquest of the
So,
air
wir schauen gerade bei einer Journalism-Show mit. Ich hoffe, ihr habt es mir auch gehört. Ab und zu habe ich natürlich ein paar kleine Schwierigkeiten mit drinnen. Normal müsste es funktioniert haben. Ja, es geht um die Mondlandung Hoax, also ob's jetzt also eine Geschichte ist oder was wirklich passiert ist. Wir schauen uns einfach ein paar alte Bilder dazu an. Das sind die Startzeiten von den ganzen Apollo-Missionen, also um die 60er, 70er Jahre jetzt.
People took time to read.
Und kommt rein und sprecht's mit, würde mich interessieren, was ihr Leute denkt, wirklich. Schaut's rein einfach.
This stuff back in the day. Do you remember that, Dave?
Free man's breakthrough into space. For the moment, it was enough that he was going.
Time out. I think I did a poor job of explaining the contest because I don't think I explained it at all.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, I think you kind of glossed over that. But I was going to say, with the newspapers, man, I had to deliver newspapers to people's houses when I was a kid. I had a job doing that. And man, these people get fucking upset if their paper was late because that's the only way they had to know what the hell was going on, man.
Yeah, the brainwashing.
How many of those stone tablets could you hold at one time?
Stone tablets.
Yeah, they were made of stone. Hadn't invented
Throw it
paper
at the
yet.
With chisel and hammer.
The way that you go about winning the contest is at some point during the show, there will be a special guest that will appear somewhere near us. And if you're the first person to write their first, middle, and last name, do we know this person has a middle name? I didn't check that. I'll check it right
I can check right now.
Yeah, just give me a yes or no, they have a middle name. If you
Ich werde die Channels noch verlinken, ich werde ab und zu ein bisschen nach vorn hüpfen, gell. Die Bilder sind einfach fantastisch, deswegen will ich nicht so weit hüpfen.
Were also only preludes. Preludes to.
They go outside a lot, so Silver makes
That way
sense.
you can see them from Earth.
They got to watch out for, what is it, Wolverines?
Astronaut John Glenn and Mercury
Or werewolves?
Friendship 7.
What's that hat the guy's wearing?
Orbit.
The Disneyland hat.
Spacecraft could sustain life
I like
in
it.
orbital flight. Prove that man
Stylish.
could operate effectively in space.
Of course they can.
How can you go to space without being stylish?
It's our destiny, really.
Here he goes.
A minimum of 3 plastic
Da
surgeries.
geht's ja.
And yeah, the Bringing Ted to
Now it was time to put man to work in space.
Look at the quality film NASA used to do.
Wie ist denn das?
Always has been. Astronaut Scott Carpenter would take the next step. In a Mercury spacecraft he named.
They look like they're on vacation. CIA agents.
Carpenter would make new scientific observations.
There's some weird reports of them when they were supposed to be at the moon, actually in Hawaii, with women of the night who have admitted observations.
Measurements of
A little chocolate dippery.
using a specially designed photometer.
Yes.
Measurements of the relative brightness of zodiacal light and other
Good way to
dim
compromise.
The zodiacal
using a
light.
special instrument with
Hey,
Polaroid
zodiacal
filters.
I
This
would
instrument
go
also
to
permits
the
direct
moon in a
viewing of the sun's
nanosecond.
and measurements of the polarization of the sun's corona.
Is that a titty pump?
Measurements of
I don't know
light
what that is.
attenuation
It was.
through the
That was a
atmosphere
breast
and more
milk.
than a dozen other astronomical and
That's so you can
physiological
see the nipple.
experiments.
Physiology.
Experiments that cannot be performed.
That guy's got
on
a 5-head. Holy smokes.
Move your mouse,
Carpenter
Sharon.
would also make observations and photographs of the booster falling away to investigate the
Wasn't
visual
always that big.
limitations associated with a
was the first
receding
test
object in
subject.
That's when he
space.
started to study about space. That's what happens.
Color perception.
We started
by
teaching
releasing
people
a
about space.
So much
multicolored
brain
balloon,
matter.
Then observing and photographing the balloon.
They gotta have the globe
to
into that.
determine
Of
its
course
polar
they do.
reflectivity and aerodynamic behavior, both of which have a bearing on visual
Could they
And
aspects.
this is how we'll fool the people.
Yeah, could
What
they
this
just make
means,
it
That will take
Photographs
pictures
of
of
the Earth's
things?
horizon
Yes,
to be
Bill, this
taken
will
through
do.
this is called a
special
fisheye
study
lens.
by the
Ja, das war
Massachusetts
trotzdem mal
Institute of
eine neue
Technology
Erfindung.
and the U.S. Naval
Canon
Research
has just
Laboratory.
released the
Photographs of
fisheye
cloud
lens.
masses over the Earth
Look at
for
that.
study
They're really
by
interested
Weather
in
Bureau
that fucking
scientists.
camera.
A special experiment behavior of fluid
Oh, God.
under zero-G conditions.
This is
Shake
how
it
it
like
works.
a salt
This is how
shaker.
it works.
Throughout the flight, Carpenter was scheduled
This
to
is the
conduct
most I've seen them do in these
maneuvers
documentaries, though.
using the
So far,
manual
yeah.
control system.
Thus was discovered a new way to mix martini.
Thank God. At least there's something that came out of space.
Shaken, stirred, or
Just
from
as man went
space.
to work
Or
in the air
vacuumed.
after Kitty Hawk, so too
Space
now,
martini.
man is going to
Final
work
liqueur.
in space.
I can't breathe, man. I'm extremely-
20,000 leagues under the sea.
They got those
Yeah.
armed guards because he might change his mind. You're like, no, motherfucker, you're getting in this thing.
I feel like my life isn't complete. I've never shook the hand of an astronaut. Until I got
Screwdriver?
It's not complete. Bucket list.
That's actual footage of cars going by.
Thank God they got that thing lit up.
So viel zum Übersetzen gibt es eigentlich nicht. Das geht dann mehr um die Bilder gell, und um die Videomaterialien. Gell. Wie gesagt, das ist überall gesagt worden, überall präsentiert worden, nicht in die Zeitschriften und natürlich im Fernsehen und überall nicht. Also die Amerikaner waren da noch viel mehr in den ganzen, Programming mit drinnen, wie mir nicht. Also können uns das, glaube ich, gar nicht so vorstellen, nicht, wo die eine riesen Paraden gehabt und alles mit nicht. Aber ja, weiter.
Look, they're like gods, really.
Bis die Leute draufkommen sind, was sie wirklich getan haben. Also 50% sind mittlerweile weg vom Glauben, was sie wirklich glauben oder was weiß ich nicht, aber 50% glauben nicht mehr.
Silverness? Nominal.
Nominal's right.
Shininess. Somebody polish my suit. Where's that mirror polisher?
Where's my golf bag? Don't forget to bring my putter.
I think this is before black people existed, though. Haven't seen one
No
yet.
slaves, no caddies.
No caddies.
They were there, you just couldn't see them.
Was that an ice cream guy?
This film was too dark.
Astronaut Carpenter leaves the Earth by elevator.
Oh boy. Now that's leaving Earth.
Atop the huge, powerful Atlas
Fucking
booster,
crazy
Aurora
white boy
Sun
flying
waits
up
for
in the
its
air
pilot.
in a rocket ship. What the
Preparations
We ain't going no moon. Who gonna hold the moon up
countdown
there?
is progressing smoothly.
Hell no, we ain't going no moon. Aurora. I'm having flashbacks, LJ. Thank you for that. LJ just super chatted. Sav is every spinning globe shill's worst nightmare. Anybody else having a flashback? Guy can barely fit in there. Okay, there he was. That might have been the black guy because I couldn't see him. Saw picked him
You
out.
think they'd make it more spacious with all the money we give them?
Nah, keep it small. Trap him.
You gotta.
The astronaut is
Like, can't we spare a few bucks for like a few feet?
Isn't that leaning a little bit?
To make that astronaut has to take a
How about
couple
the
before the
police?
blast off too. Just to
downrange
make
and
this way.
around the world. The recovery forces
Real
are on
cheap,
station.
like.
20 ships, 110 aircraft.
What?
Marine Corps personnel.
Hold
all
on.
standing by for a lone American in a silver spacesuit.
Hold on, let me just make sure I heard this right. So the one guy's going into space, and they just said 110 aircraft were ready for this mission. 110?
110 aircraft, 13,000 Army, Navy,
13,000 personnel for this.
guy.
Okay, come on.
All standing by for a lone American in a silver spacesuit.
Sounds familiar. It sounds really legit.
For a lone American.
Standing by for what? To catch him or something?
Yeah, I guess so.
As a hazy sun comes up out of the Atlantic,
110 aircraft
is sealed inside the spacecraft.
Damn, the ice cream is mixed really nice right here, Jim. Pass it out to the seamen.
And this is why the McDonald's shake machine is always fucking broke.
I knew there was a reason.
So, heute am Abend gibt es fix wieder einen Livestream. Ich hoffe mit meinem Bruder Mike van Dijk, dass er dabei ist, dass noch ein paar Leute zukommen. Ja, schauen wir uns die alle schon weiter.
Only a few witnessed the pioneering flights at Kitty Hawk.
There's less people there than there is airplanes prepared to pick him up.
Across America,
Right.
87 in
That lady
attendance.
was fully dressed at the beach.
and listened to the drama on launch.
He was showing a little bit too much there, Mike, for that day and age.
Yeah, true. Had her, she
Felt
still
like
had.
that was a slut. That's a NASA slut from the day.
They used to pass her around.
Yeah, NASA
Ah,
groupie.
yeah. She's somebody's grandma. Yeah.
That's rude.
Ihm beim Saul anscheinend meint, könnt ihr auch immer mitmachen auf YouTube, wenn er live geht. Der hat das gleiche Programm, also könnt ihr genauso live mitmachen, live mitreden. Ist oft ziemlich witzig, was da für Leute zusammenkommen. Sheridanism macht das nicht so viel, aber er hat gewisse Debatten, also mit gewissen Richtlinien und so weiter. Also ja, ist auch eine Möglichkeit. Also sie machen auf jeden Fall eine großartige Arbeit. Also der Sheridanism und der Soul anscheinend meint, gute Leute.
Probably dead.
Yeah, that's true.
There's nobody in their right mind that would get in there.
No.
Not a chance.
Your attention, please.
I don't even if it's not going anywhere, I don't want to get up in there.
I'm not getting it for sample tests. No.
Flight director, is this the weather hold?
Affirmative. There's 87 people and 110 aircraft. Good luck.
They wore their finest outfits to come
Well,
out
that's
here
a
to
lot
the
of
beach.
military. Those are a lot of military personnel.
Everyone has a belt on. You're not allowed on the beach without a belt.
Yeah, I think that's the only clothes they own, to be honest.
I swear. They didn't even know what a bathing suit was.
No. On my
It
mark.
really, it was really, it was running that fucking Mormon thing with the short sleeve.
Allein wie traurig das wäre, wenn es alles nur quasi, müssen sehr auf die Art Schauspieler sein, gell? Also, da haben da einiges auf die Füße gestellt. So, ne? Ja.
They swam in their tie and
In a
shirt.
few minutes, the great Atlas booster with its 360,000 pounds of thrust will lift
Doesn't
the
look lined up
spacecraft
right to me.
and out of the Earth's atmosphere, and guided by a miracle of space
What's
age
all that
electronics,
smoke from?
place it in the sky.
Wait, it was guided by a what now?
I want to hear that again. Let's hear that again.
Spacecraft up and out of the Earth's atmosphere.
Listen to this.
And guided by a miracle of space age electronics.
A miracle of
A
space
miracle
age
of
electronics.
space age electronics.
So basically magic.
So yeah,
Guided by
basically a hope and a whim.
Yeah.
And we're just going to rely
Hey,
on faith.
if it works.
Ja, also sie reden die ganzen Computer alle zusammen und haben, glaube ich, eine Rechenleistung von einem Handy herzutrocknet. Also, sehr in den Zeitalter waren wir auch noch nicht. Also, ja.
Works, then they give more power to it.
Place it in the
All
sky.
right, turn on the electronics. Anything happening? No. Ah, fuck. Well,
Turn on the miracle button. The miracle button.
Watch
Oh, yeah,
it
miracle.
anyway.
Precision radar will note every
Precision
motion of the
radar.
Atlas at every moment.
Every
during the
moment.
powered portion of the flight.
And it's always pointed towards
The
space. You see
radar
these
information
satellites.
will
They
flow instantaneously into high-speed computers, which
there's a
have
lot
been
of data
pre-programmed.
right there.
with
the
correct
receipt machine is
trajectory data.
still cracking.
Oh,
The
That's a
computer transfers
teletype.
the
That's a
actual data
teletype
from the
reader. I used to
ascending
make.
automatically transmits signals which gimbal the booster engines to steer the Atlas along the desired flight path.
The typewriter technology could be advanced. I feel like if we could go to space, though.
It was.
I don't want to get in a
It
rocket
was.
and then just be like controlled by all these guys who might hate their life. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
crash.
one guy has a bad day. Yeah, you never know.
Launch is controlled from a windowless.
I see a lot of heart disease and alcoholism.
The Mercury Control Center, farther away.
Quite a few, but not a lot of overweight people.
All elements of the mission are
What's this map here?
We win
It's
now.
Why not use a globe? Wouldn't it be easier just to use the actual thing?
Every map that there is came from the globe.
The flat part, though, sees weirds me out.
RF and conduct UHF check with CO. DM blockhouse, camera and tape recorder on. All Mercury stations.
How many people is that talking at once?
At least 5.
Do they say anything? They just always go loud and
Is
clear.
this a person up here?
10-4.
Is this person sitting on the top of that? Oh, now he's on. Look at this guy. Oh.
He figured out life.
AMR telemetry.
Why does it look like a different
Telemeter
screen?
quality.
It's changing.
Mercury capsule.
This person's up here now. Watch, it won't be in the next one.
T-minus 60 seconds.
Wasn't it just showing that the guy wasn't
Mercury
there?
is go.
Mm-mm. Look at those binoculars. Dude.
High quality.
They had better binoculars back then. They don't sell those things anymore.
Go!
Go! Affirmative? Go! Yes? No!
Chlamydia? Go!
You got to turn it on.
Oh, what? This one.
No, not that one.
I would suck at that job. Button pushing.
I mean,
I'd
look
be
at
so high.
Lights and shit.
I'd be so high.
Look at this guy's look right here. Look how, I mean, only space can make you that into what you're doing.
It looks like he's getting ready to do a gunfight, man.
No,
Look
he's
at
doing
him
a
and that
D-
other guy. They're going to square off. They're squaring off. That's what
He's
it is.
doing a breathalyzer. The cop's like, follow my pen.
He's like, he's ready. He's like, oh.
Look at these looks on their faces.
Minus 10, 9, 8,
Oh, good, we're going to go.
7, 6,
Here goes.
5, 4,
Oh, this is the big news. This is the big
2,
stuff.
1,
Go.
0.
Yep.
Oh,
That shit looks legit.
clock is started. Look at that. The miracle of magical tracking devices.
Wow. I'm about to.
Oh, they're so happy.
What?
He's like praying. Oh, please.
Oh, the backup clock.
Look at that thing. It's made like of titanium.
Hmm.
What do you think, Dave?
Unobtainium.
Unobtainium. They made it from space rocks. Look at the technology here, you guys. I mean, this is a piece of history. You gotta respect that. These guys knew things that we'll never know.
What's going on over here on the screen?
They're watching the rocket launch on their television.
Oh, look, they're both.
Now we're back to the gunfighter.
And go. And Roger that and go. Confirm. Affirmative. Roger.
I still don't like this guy up here. He needs to get down.
That guy, is he really that tall? What's up with
He's
him?
sitting on top of this thing.
Oh,
See, but what's going on this TV screen?
really pissed.
What are they
poor
showing?
is-
They're showing like people at home watching. There's a news reporter in someone's house.
Yeah, but which people had two
We've got
TVs?
interference. Get the foil.
Jen, move the rebel ears to the left.
Yeah, and then you get conned into having to stand there and hold the fucking rabbit ears because you touching it makes the antenna better. You end up having to stand there through gun smoke. Well, all right.
We hit orbital velocity. Oh,
Orbital
good.
velocity by hitting the button. So the only way they get data is through that receipt thing. How are they even reading it? It's all buttons and no data actual. There's no screens. There's no computer screens.
Prints it out.
Imagine that. Where's the data coming from?
Space.
Space.
science and the miracle of electronics.
Yes!
We did it!
That's the signal for everyone. Clap hands.
It's the miracle of electronics, Mike.
Orbit number, were they counting how many orbits they've done?
So far, one. I don't know how it's so
one
fast,
full
but-
complete orbit. That's what this means. Yes.
Means one.
Aurora 7.
There he is.
Let's focus.
Looks like he's getting ready to do a gunfight in front of the
Sir,
Saloon.
you're under arrest for
And the Atlas
DW.
booster has done its job.
Yeah, it did.
Now, it's
Oh,
up
there
to
you go.
Mercury
Big
Control
rusty.
and the tracking network, the spacecraft, and the astronaut.
Yep.
99 miles high over the Atlantic, traveling at more than 17,000
That guy in the
miles
suit,
an hour.
man, with all those
Carpenter
poses.
goes to work.
That makes me
One of
believe in
his first
space, actually.
jobs was observing and
That's
photographing
Carpenter?
the burned-out Atlas as it trailed
How
him
can
into
you
orbit.
deny it? Look at that.
At this time, he discovered that
Without all the
by
hoses,
means
how
of
would he breathe?
control system,
That's supposed to be
how would he
something?
successfully
See
track
that?
and
That's
orient his
undeniable
spacecraft in
proof right
relation
there.
to the
See
trailing
that
booster.
grainy, blurry photograph?
This information
You guys always say there's no
was
pictures from
planning
space.
future
Obviously there
orbital
is.
rendezvous missions. Approaching Africa, radio contact is made with the Mercury tracking station at Kano,
Bang, back,
Nigeria.
back, 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 back.
I was just thinking that somebody doing that click and buzz shit, you know, click, 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 click.
Let Umbatu?
Yeah.
Can he operate anything with those gloves on? How's he going to steer the ship? Gravity.
I mean, you'd just be so cramped in there, so claustrophobic.
Look at that. He looked at those things. He's watching those things turn and he's writing.
It turned,
Science.
and it turned again.
The astronaut began his
So
continuing
is
study of
is
What
this
is this?
Houston steering the rocket?
The haze layer noted
Yeah,
on the
powered
private flight of Freedom 7
Who's
was
taking
now
these
measured
pictures?
for light
Why do I have to
frequency
steer my car?
So,
and width.
Okay,
los
jetzt
der
Sommerrunde.
For occlusion and intensity. Venus was fully observed low on the horizon.
Venus
Venus
was
experiments were
solid.
conducted on drifting flight,
I'm
as well as the effects
What are
of
these
spacecraft
pictures?
control by body movement
Space.
and
Space, man.
orientation
You can
with the
tell.
darkened
It's
Earth.
undeniable proof of space.
Yeah, I
Body
guess,
movement and proprioceptive tests were conducted during
Proprioceptive?
prolonged weightlessness. Observations were
That's not a
periodically
word.
made of the liquid behavior experiment. These observations
And you know, if they were to put a camera anywhere on the spaceship, that's exactly what I would want to see. I would just want to see the guy sitting in a chair, and that's it. I don't want to see space or anything like that. Just please. And then you know what? They did it. I mean,
In fact, they
it
should
doesn't get
zoom
much
in
better than
closer.
that.
I want to get closer to it.
Right. It should be.
There's,
The space. Okay.
what's this button do, sir?
Canton Island in the can be.
Wow.
What is that?
And at sunrise,
Something seen
the
from
first
space.
of the space particles.
What?
Space particles?
Space particles?
Space particle. Come on, Jared.
You got to be shitting me. I thought they'd be bigger than
Clearly
that.
a picture of a space particle for crying out loud.
I've seen particles in my day,
It
but
was
not like
later,
that.
on the third
Not
orbit,
space
Never seen
particles.
such great
Carpenter
particles.
identified the mysterious particles as frost, dislodged from the exterior of the spacecraft.
Dislodged.
Then
Like an ice
contact
off the
with
top of your
tracking
car when you
station
leave in the
at
morning.
Guaymas,
So they weren't
Mexico.
space particles, they were ice particles.
What's this guy? I think that's that black guy who thinks we didn't go to the moon.
I think that's NASA.
We didn't go to no moon.
That's the front guard at NASA.
Oh, it's Mexico, that's why.
Hola, amigos.
Hola, amigos.
Felicitanos a todos.
He couldn't sound any more white if he tried.
Hero Taco Bell.
Look. Azimuth elevation.
Qué tiempo es muy bien.
Look at those guys. Those guys are really doing something. I've been looking at this.
Oh, he's doing. Oh,
He's doodling. He's
he's
doodling.
He was doing something. You see him spinning that thing up? He was cranking it up.
Yeah, it makes that circle blink. That
That was
helps.
like back in the when the phones, you had to like crank the number.
Yes.
Fuel consumption.
You ever seen there's a video that they asked
Sarah, get me Klondike
children today to
642.
do that, and they don't have an idea how to turn the phone, or looking at it like, what the hell do we do with this?
Hang this up.
What is
Answer the
that?
phone.
A sperm? What?
What is that?
It's a space whale.
After release, potentiometer measurements and observations against the blackness of space.
Oh, look at that thing.
Of the four colors, only orange and silver seem clearly visible. Then, visibility studies and studies of depth perception in space.
Mm-hmm.
Experiments with food consumption and handling.
Sure.
Man
Oh, where's
moving
the? Is this
toward
the menu one?
Scott Carpenter
No.
working through the first and second orbits.
This is Aurora 7.
I'm gonna have to
I need a new recipe. I'm telling you what.
tracking ship is
Ice cream sandwich recipe. What'd you say, Dave? I like that idea. You put the water on the dehydrated water in order to get some water.
Right. I saw that stuff. Dehydrated water.
Did you come up with that?
Yeah. Yeah, you just add water and there it is. And it works in any survival.
Did I get it right? Did he just say, I guarantee I'm breathing?
Do it again. What?
One more time.
Oh, all right then.
Good job.
Lord.
Look at the data.
That guy's playing
Look at
Pong.
the data. Sniper.
Playing Frogger.
Billy, don't sit so close to the screen. You'll wreck your eyes.
But Grandma.
Look at that TV. Oh, we can fly to the moon.
And these guys aren't even looking at it.
That right there was a top-notch TV set.
Top-notch, my ass.
Top-notch, A#1 double below nothing, bro.
The matching of the Earth technology versus like leaving the planet and going to another one.
It's amazing.
You see all those knobs?
You're stupid.
So since NASA is so great and wonderful, I see already we have got Nigerian Aquatic Sports Association. Everyone go ahead and type in what you think NASA stands for in reality.
Yes, give us an anagram.
Acronym for NASA.
Anagram.
You've heard before, need another 7 astronauts. I've heard that one before.
Not another space agency.
Yeah, it's so dark.
Never
Not an actual space agency.
Yeah.
So dark.
That's a good one. Not actual
Never a
space
straight
agency.
answer.
Never a straight answer. So yeah, give us one of those. And we'll give away some memberships when I see enough good ones. Here we go.
Critical retrofire maneuver.
Retrofire.
Now, the fuel supply is...
No. Not manual. No. Oh no.
That's a laser gun.
Uh-oh. Radio silence. That's a good one, Dirk. National Aquatic Association.
That is what it is.
Yeah, it is, no doubt, right?
You might have, yeah, that might not be good. You might have told
Holy
people
crap.
that.
That's true, not a straight agency.
Is there smoke inside there? Is that inside with the astronaut?
No, they should be wondering
It's
what that
getting
is.
high as fuck. That's how they came up with the term gas mask. NASA invented that.
He's
Yeah,
hotboxing
hotboxing, dude. Yeah.
No, it's just smoky in here, I swear.
We
And,
told you no
By
cigarettes.
the way, I ran into a skunk on the way up here, just letting you know.
It's
It's
baby.
not cigarette.
It's not smoke, it's baby.
which blocks communications.
What's he doing right now?
He's looking at that data on that screen. If you do science, you do NASA.
I hate science. But I guess that's why they call me stupid. That's just a reflection of him looking in a bubble. He's not doing it.
Mr. One-to-One says no
If it
answer, stop
wasn't for,
asking.
if it wasn't for space and science and NASA, you wouldn't even have to do it.
In the spacecraft.
Oh, look at this traffic.
Aber zuerst präsentiere ich
My parents couldn't afford blue jeans. I had overalls all the time. Is that Cuba?
Nothing about space, actually. Good one, Greg. Chilling got his hat. Awesome.
Look, there's some more Mormons.
Yeah, Chilling's all the way in Scotland. Oh boy.
You heard the word of the Lord.
Jo.
You're not allowed to win anymore, Chilling.
Wirklich gut.
We're done.
Ich möchte sagen, du musst mir glauben, ich muss nicht sagen, das ist schon, das ist so der moderne, das gleiche wie das.
Oh my God, the focus level is
Look at that.
unbelievable.
I've never been that focused in my life.
Jesus.
Zeig jetzt das
Computers at the Goddard Space Flight Center.
What are these, the old like 14K modem servers?
That's the technology that it's a painful process to build back. Right
I
there.
guess
Here on
so.
song says nerds and suckers admiration. I like it.
There you go.
Not böse Feministen.
They do admire.
Rescue personnel,
Danke,
all
Chilling.
medical and emergency teams.
Zeige ich immer das immer. Whistler, Dinger, Zwang. sehen. Also unser Modell. Das ist der kostet aber Gewehr. Das ist so. Hier, also ein weiteres. Das erklärt eigentlich wirklich so gut wie alles. Gut, und dann will ich euch jetzt ein Eierbetriebssystem vorstellen. So. Und was man gelernt kriegt, und was man gelernt kriegt. Ja, was wir mal. Also, jetzt. Das ist zum Beispiel auf die Schnelle, was nicht schlecht ist. So, also wir drehen uns um die Sonne, sagen wir noch. Dabei schießen wir noch durchs Weltall, ne? Mit unglaublichen Geschwindigkeiten. Also dieses Solarsystem ist mir so beigebracht kriegen. Ne? Wenn es nicht glaubt, kann es ruhig hinterfragen, wenn man genauer nachschaut. Es gibt verdammt verwendet. Also
Hey, Vsauce! Michael here. Do you have a best friend who is there for you 24/7, 365? Sorry. That's not really a pole. We spin counterclockwise. West chases east. I always remember this by thinking of the US as a weird mane-headed animal with Texas and Florida legs running forward. But we don't just spin. We also revolve around the sun on a plane tilted 23.4 degrees relative to our spin. It's kind of nauseating at this scale. But from this perspective, you can see that the sun rising and setting is just the Earth pointing you towards and then away from the sun. This motion causes your sunrise, your noon, the moment when the sun is highest in your sky, before your sunset.
Und sie fangen an immer mit den Weiten, nicht? Wie weit alles entfernt ist, das nachher im Prinzip alles eigentlich egal macht, nicht? Aber das ist eben nicht der Fall, nicht? Die Sonne kommt mir nicht so weit entfernt vor, ich weiß nicht, wie es euch geht, aber schaut mal das nächste Mal, mir kommt es nicht so weit entfernt.
To more closely investigate this movement, let's talk about meridians. You are on one at this very moment. Your meridian is just a line from where you are right now, straight towards the north and south poles. It's a line of longitude, as opposed to the horizontal lines that lay flat when north or
Dazu kommt man, in Russland hat man ein Loch gebohrt mit allen möglichen Mitteln, das es früher gegeben hat. Auch heute, also man wird es nicht nochmal versuchen, also 8 Meilen oder 8 Kilometer, ich glaube 8 Meilen haben sie es geschafft mit Sprengungen und mit allem. Weiter sind sie nicht gekommen. Also von wegen, die wissen genau, dass die Erde einen heißen Kern hat, dann fließen und bla bla bla, woher wollen die das wissen? Die waren dann
or south is up that we call flat.
Das nächste ist die Navigation, funktioniert auf keinem runden Globus mehr, benutzen alle flache Mappen, damit man navigieren kann.
Latitude, or actually latitude. The sun is highest in the sky to you, your noon, when your meridian is pointed right at the sun. A cool thing happens at this moment. All shadows around you point directly towards one of Earth's poles, unless you're on the subsolar point. The subsolar point is the point on Earth's surface directly below the sun. It's always somewhere. You can check its current location online, links as always in the description. On the subsolar point, shadows fall straight down so they can easily disappear. Twice a year, the subsolar point crosses over Hawaii, the only place in the US where it hits land. And when it does, it is called Lahaina Noon, meaning cruel sun. Straight vertical objects look unnatural during this brief time, like they don't belong, as if they were photoshopped in without regard for reality. In Honolulu, a sculpture by Isamu Noguchi called Skygate casts a twisted shadow all day, every day, except during Lahaina Noon, when its shadow is a perfect circle. You may not live in a place where the sun ever appears directly overhead, but once every Earth rotation, the subsolar point falls somewhere on your meridian, making it noon for you. The technical name for this noon for you is local apparent solar noon. The clock on your wrist and the clock on your phone don't tell you your local apparent solar time. Because long ago, we realized that if every meridian had its own time, a person just a few kilometers away, seeing different shadows than you did, would disagree with you on what time it was. So towns adopted their own time. Now later on, this trick was standardized and time zones as we know them today came about. But that's not all we didn't like about shadow-based sundial time. To explore deeper, we have to begin by asking, what's a day? I mean, obviously, it's just the time it takes the Earth to turn around once, right? But according to what? Everything else in space is moving in some way too. The universe doesn't include a convenient sheet of graph paper at absolute rest we can trace paths on. The best we can do on that front is to look at very, very far, far, far away stars. So far away, like distant features of the landscape out the window of a moving car, they barely move as Earth does. Now, to them, a meridian on Earth completes a trip around about once every 23.9 hours. This is called a sidereal day. Sidereal means pertaining to the stars. Even though the sidereal day seems pretty clear, it's not what our calendars and clocks are based on, because there's a nearer star whose position relative to us has a bigger effect on our lives: the sun. Looking down on the North Pole at Earth's counterclockwise spin, the Earth also moves counterclockwise around the sun. After a sidereal day, the Earth has moved a bit along its orbit, so some more rotation is required for the same meridian to point back towards the sun again. This longer definition of one rotation is what the modern calendar and clock is based on. It is called the solar day. But here's the thing. Exactly how long the Earth has to rotate to complete a solar day changes day to day. Our clocks are just based on the average amount of time this takes. So throughout the year, they fall ahead and behind the sun. This is a solograph, a picture of the sun's path across the sky every single day. If our clocks actually told us local apparent solar time, if you took a picture of the way the Earth revolves around the sun, most of it in darkness.
Und ich glaube, dass die sehr genau wissen.
Tilt. It doesn't just affect how long a day is, it also affects how long a year is. This is because the Earth's tilt is what causes the seasons. For the half of the Earth tilted towards the sun, the same amount of solar radiation is spread across less space than it is on the other half, so there's more heat energy laid down per area. This causes what we call summer and winter for the other half. The amount of time from one of these seasonal orientations of the Earth to its occurrence again is called a solar
So ist die Sonne.
Here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo-doo. Here comes the sun, and I say it's alright. Little darling, it's been a long, cold, lonely winter. And little darling, it feels like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo-doo. Here comes the sun, and I say it's alright. Little darling, the smiles return into their faces. And little darling, it feels like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun.
Also so erklären wir eben unsere Jahreszeiten. Die Sonne kreist über uns und sie kreist einmal in einem inneren Tropical Center, das ist der innere gelbe Ring, dann ist der rote der Äquator und der äußere gelbe Ring ist der äußerste Rand, was die Sonne für
Here comes the sun, and I say it's alright.
Und das wir jetzt also im Norden kreist, dann haben wir Sommer im Norden, und wenn sie mehr im Süden kreist, haben wir Winter, und im Süden, also Australien oder so, bekommen eben den Sommer nicht.
Sun, 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 here it comes. Sun, 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 here it comes.
Das ist das, von was ich geredet habe. Also, die Sonne geht jetzt ist sie so zur Zeit, also in Österreich zumindest, weil es geht ja schon wieder in den Herbst zu, sprich, sie geht schon wieder weg. Die heißesten Tage haben wir schon gehabt, also dann ist sie wirklich da. Gibt ja auch, ich weiß jetzt nicht, wie der Tag heißt, aber Sommersonnenwende, genau, dann geht sie von dem äußersten inneren Kreis wieder weg zu. Die Sonne geht dann zum Äquator und wandert dann bis zum Außenring. Die Geschwindigkeiten, natürlich geht sie da nämlich ein bisschen schneller, nicht? Deswegen sind die Tage eben, es kommt darauf an, ob jetzt die Sonne, da bin ich mir jetzt nicht ganz sicher, wie es ist, aber das erklärt eben auch die Zeitunterschiede. Ich glaube, dass sie da ist, also sie muss da schneller gehen, glaube ich, oder wie das geht. Auf jeden Fall braucht sie halt immer ihre 12 Stunden von einem Punkt zum komplett rundherum. Es ist die perfekte Uhr. Perfektere Uhr gibt es nicht. Die ganzen Uhren sind gestellt nach Sonnen und nach gewissen Sternen und so. Also das Rot ist nichts anderes wegen der Äquator nicht. Und das ist eben unser Flat Earth, wie soll ich sagen, Theorie nicht. Also das da, das Weiße da, was im Süden ist, also komplett überall, was der Kreis ist, im Süden, das ist die Antarktis. Also wir glauben nicht daran, dass wir im Weltall rumschwirren oder so. Für uns gibt es kein Weltall. Ja, wir sind das Zentrum. Für uns gibt es kein Outer Space oder was da draußen ist, weiß ich nicht. Aber für uns ist das alles lokal und in uns, und wir sind das Zentrum. Also um das geht es mir. Und wieso der Nordpol einfach so weiß gemacht worden ist, ich möchte es nicht wirklich wissen, was dort wirklich ist. Ich kann es nicht beweisen, aber ich kann mir vorstellen, dass dort sehr wohl irgendwas sehr Interessantes ist, nicht, was uns gewisse Eliten verschweigen. Und ja, wie gesagt, da geht es tief, da geht es weit. Aber ich wollte euch nur einmal unser Ding zeigen. Also das erklärt, wie die Sonne quasi um unsere schöne Erde kreist. Jeden Tag wieder. Also der Sonne, das ist, was ich mir einmal einbringen, das Tropical Center. Also das ist Tropic of Cancer, das ist der innere Kreis. Also wo am nördlichsten ist die Sonne, dann haben wir den Äquator und dann Tropic of Capricorn. Okay.
Sun, here it comes. Sun, sun, sun.
Ich muss sagen, sie geht zuerst im Tropic of Capricorn, nicht? Und in dem Fall nähert, also ist jetzt in Australien, kann man sagen, am Hochsommer, nicht? Und jetzt bewegt sie sich hin zum Äquator bis hin zum Tropic of Cancer, also bis zum nördlichsten Kreis, nicht? Und dann wieder retour.
Little darling, I feel it as it's slowly melting. And little darling, it seems like years since it's been clear. Here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo. Here comes the sun, and I say it's alright. Here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo. Here comes the sun, and I say it's alright.
heute am Abend ausschauen würde, würde man einen Stern genau markieren und ich würde genau in einem Jahr zur gleichen Uhrzeit wieder rausgehen, könnte ich den Stern wiedersehen. Das würde nicht funktionieren, wenn wir durchs Weltall rasen mit den ganzen Galaxien. Also ich nehme keine Bewegung wahr, also sowieso. Also in Cancer, ich weiß jetzt nicht, was sind die Zwillinge. Also wenn sie jetzt quasi Zwillinge sein, dann ist die Sonne im Tropic of Cancer. Also Tropic of Cancer war ja das Innere, nicht? Also der innere, nördlichste Ring. Und jetzt haben wir natürlich notice the sign for Capricorn takes place. Also das ist Steinbock, ne? Take place when the sun is circling over the Tropic of Capricorn. Also ich habe am 27.12. Geburtstag und da ist Dezember, das heißt die Sonne ist am äußersten Ring. Am äußersten Ring. Und die Sterne sind halt immer dementsprechend dann auch angeordnet. Nicht? Also deswegen haben wir ja auch unsere Sternzeichen und so weiter. Also sehr, sehr interessant. Also es wird alles so kompliziert dargestellt und alles, aber muss es nicht immer sein. Nicht? Und das Ganze wird auch noch nicht lang berichtet darüber. Leute, ich muss leider aufhören. Alles Gute. Ciao.